guys. This was a
Hi.
We're unmuted now. Yeah, these are the new roasters here, and we were drinking Pola Peronima this morning.
Nice.
Yo también.
The same.
Oh, great. So we're recording.
Great.
So we'll post it later because a lot of people couldn't make it like Saturday morning. We're still figuring out when the best time to do this is, but we'll be able to post it on YouTube and Instagram. Patty, you might be better at Instagram than I am. I couldn't figure out how to do Instagram Live. I figured Zoom was better so we could talk like this.
Yeah, really, we just wanted to talk to you. So hopefully some people tune in later. But this is just nice. I guess we saw you this year. It's crazy. It's been a long one. Been different. But yeah, that was January.
Yeah,
so.
look it. There's some parts of it missing.
Yeah, you guys look great. How is everything? How's family and all on the farm? Everybody's healthy?
Yeah, thank God. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, and I think it's a great thing that we can at least see each other.
By Zoom.
Yeah, at least. Okay, and it seems like a long time since you were here. It's only like 8 months ago.
I know.
What? Sometime in February, maybe January.
January, yeah.
But it looks like
Yeah,
a long
January.
time.
We were there on the
It's been a very. But no, thank God we're all doing very good. That everybody, we have been able to keep working throughout the year without stopping. Coffee and agriculture in general has been able to work because I guess it's a priority for the for everybody's economy and
For the government, so.
exactly, yeah. So we have been able to keep working throughout the year, and thank God we haven't had any infections or anything to be sorry about, and family is doing okay. Our two sons both one living in France and the other in Spain. They're also doing okay. They have been kept in quarantine for a long time, but thank God they're doing okay.
Good. Are they both back in school? Are they going back to university?
Well, Carlos is working in France. He finished his master's in sports management, and Patty is studying semi-presenciales, the classes at Navarra.
Okay.
So they're not in quarantine right now, but they have put measures like at 10 o'clock they close everything, the restaurants, bars, coffee shops, everything, and only 6 people can meet privately or outside, because Europe, I don't know, there's like another wave of infections.
Second wave.
Second wave.
All right. I have a question. So talking about your kids, we've met them. They're amazing. I'm curious. I know you didn't do coffee your whole life. You were in the textile industry before. And I'm curious, do you expect the kids to take over coffee? Is that something that they're interested in? Or is that just something you think about in the future?
No, I think it's very it's important that people get experience somewhere else, be it in any industry, so that when they come finally and be in charge of the coffee, they can bring new strategies, new vision, new connections, as if they just continue doing what I do. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that they get to understand other industries, so that when they finally come back here and be in charge of the farm, then they can add value to the business. So that's basically my philosophy. I don't know if it's
No, but I also think that they have seen right now, even though we have the pandemic, we sold the whole crop season last year's, but we also had like 3 very tough years when we got rust on all the farm plants, and the kids saw that we were like barely making it. It was crazy. We had to, well, you've been to Brisas. We had to take all the Bourbon, cut it away, everything that had rust, and plant crops that were resistant to rust. So, and since they don't grow from one day to, I mean, in the same year, it was like 3 years that we have to now they're giving a lot of production. Carlos is investing in more coffee, African beds. And so now they see that it can be financially sustainable. But before it was like, they thought maybe we were not going to make it to live. So now they see a difference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. This month we decided to use the Paranema Natural, which we had last.
Oh,
So it's been 1 year since we started the subscription, and you were the first one we offered, and it's the same coffee, 2020. So for us, it's really nice to share with people the seasonality and to kind of emphasize that coffees do change and that each season you'll have new flavors. So this coffee tastes amazing. I think it's improved quite a bit, which is excellent and really fun for us. We've been enjoying roasting it. Kenneth there at Moru, we've been actually roasting on his machines and trying a few different profiles. But anyway, the rust resistant idea, we know that this is a hybrid, and there can be a lot to understand about varieties, but I know that this one is resistant to rust, and that's one reason you've kind of selected that, and you've chosen to improve the quality and make a better tasting coffee out of a hybrid, which some people find is maybe too much work. And I'm curious, what's your strategy with hybrids? We love what you've been providing. I hope that's a good question and not too complex.
Mhm. Well, I think a lot of very good coffees, anyways, end up in the commercial market because people don't treat them well. They don't harvest as they should. They don't process the coffee, so it ends up being blended with all kinds of coffees from everywhere, with some with rust, some with broca. What's the broca? Insects and what have you. So in any case, a lot of coffees end up being blended with just any kind of coffees. So basically, if you have a coffee that you harvested extremely well and separate from all other coffees, and you process it as if it was food, which is what coffee really is, with a lot of clean facilities and everybody treating coffee as if it was in a factory, or as if it was inside a coffee shop where everything is clean and and disinfected. Then you can do a lot with any coffee as compared to the bad processing that most of the coffee anywhere is treated. So I think there's a lot you can do with coffees as long as you process them and then hold them in the right way, treating them as if it was as if it is food. Anyways, it is food in any case. So so that would be basically what I have been doing. And then I also have a lot of other varieties like Pacamaras and Pacas, and I'm doing some Kenyas now, which are not rust resistant. they take a lot of much more care. So basically, it's like you know, I have a range of different varieties so that I can, you know, try to minimize any risks. So and then learn from all of the varieties in terms of which is the best way to process them, to uh, to plant them, to cultivate them. So that's what basically what I do. And that is basically my strategy, you know, to have several varieties, so I can learn from each one of them.
Cool.
Excellent.
I have a question for Patty. Carlos, I know you're all over the farm and processing, but I'm curious what Patty thinks as far as your contributions with, only because my sister joined from England and I was thinking about origin, how you like, maintain these relationships and yeah, how you maintain these international relationships through the last 8 years and beyond.
Well, I think something that I will really miss this year is harvest season, because it's when everyone comes down, and you know, we have a great time at our house. We love hosting people, and well, thank God that since Carlos moved into the coffee industry, I have really enjoyed having people at my house, because I think it's not only the coffee that it's has to be a great coffee to be sold, but also to form lasting relationships based on trust. Well, we're almost like it's really good friends with all of you. We met Kenneth, and it was great. And like, we know that even if next year, I hope we can see each other again, but if this takes longer, then we're always good coffee to you. And I think all the clients feel the same, like people from Origin. We have had so many incredible people. It's like a privilege. People from Origin Coffee Roasters, Joshua Tarlo, that now works at Kiss a Hippo, Frida, who made it on February before we got locked down. Also the people from Austria, Tato Hernandez, people from Algrano, especially Tom Booth. He has come down like 3 times to the coffee expeditions. Or 2 maybe, but and I'm always also on Instagram and seeing what everybody's doing, like Dan Fellows, and what he's now ambassador of a great espresso machine. And well, I'm always like in touch with them, at least in that way. So I try to keep a community. I don't know. I think it's very important, these relationships, and to keep them, because like right now, we never thought we were going to live this year. I mean, what has happened during this year and the challenges that is bringing to every one of us. But I think next year, even though if you can't come, you have the trust that we will give you an excellent coffee, like always. And so I really appreciate all these friendships, and I try to keep in touch by social medias.
Nice.
I have a question. It's Kenneth. It's good to see you guys. I watch Instagram, but I'm not very good at it, so not very many responses. Patty, you do a great job.
Thank you.
I'm really enjoying the Peronima. We haven't really dove into roasting any of the other coffees, but we landed 2 pallets here at Moru yesterday. And that was really exciting. I'll try to share the pictures, but I was curious what the yield was. And you know, you did mention that you sold it all. That's phenomenal. But I was just curious, as in each variety, as you can recall, or if you know exactly, Carlos, probably you know exactly what was the yield, and where in the world did it go? Patty, you were mentioning coffee importers all over. So I'm curious.
Excuse me, can you repeat the question again?
Oh yeah, I was wondering what the yield was. I don't know if you can hear me better now. What the yield was on each of the varieties this year, like total that you shipped out and sold.
Okay, you mean yield by variety in terms of which one is most productive, or you
Yeah.
mean, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yes, and then and then who, and Patty or Carlos, who bought those? What countries, and did it all come to the United States, or some went to Europe, China?
Okay, well, basically, thank God. I mean, really, we're really blessed because this year we were able to ship to about 10 to 12 different clients, most of them in Europe, in the US. We have Philippe in Montreal, Canada, whom you get in touch with. And I have seen coffees sold to our clients that have ended up in Turkey, Sweden, Belgium, some in Australia too. So I think we shipped some to Asia. So thank God we were able to sell all of the coffee, and really blessed because we also have new clients, and we kept all of the clients that we had. And I think it's very important. I have told you that it's most important to us is to keep the clients from the previous years than just getting new clients, because that means that you're building a relationship. And as we were saying, the coffee community and the relationship is a priority to us. So thank God we were able to sell all of the coffee throughout this 10 to 12 clients. And in terms of yield by variety, basically I have about 8 to 10 different varieties. And this Panamera is one of the most productive ones, by the way. And there's a lot of math behind each variety, but in terms of yield, this Panamera is one of the most productive ones. And then Pacamara is also very productive. And then it all depends on the specific treatment that you do to each variety in terms of the shade of the age of the plants, and so on. There's a lot of varieties, how much rain we had in the year, and depending on the sector of the farm. So there is a lot of math involved in yields. But yes, Panamera is one of the best in terms of yields. Mm-hmm.
I really love the natural process on this coffee. I think it's delicious. So I assume over the years you've decided natural and Panamera is a good combination. This one really turned out well this year. We had it on the table with some of the other varieties, some Pacamaras, and I was very impressed. It held up next to some other really nice coffees.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've done the most work on this one. I think we're in our 5th roast as well, and we're almost there to where I want this coffee to be for the limited amount that I have at this point. And I'm excited to roast all the other varieties as well. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So he's alluding to us buying more Panamera next year.
Yeah, I'm wondering when we have to start paying and deciding how much we're going to buy. If you have all these new clients, that creates a little bit of competition, which is good.
No, and thank God this year we are, since I have been redoing the farm, as you have seen, for the last 8 years, just planting and planting and planting and planting because of the rust disease that basically destroyed all of the old plantations. So thank God I'm also increasing the production. So this year I'm foreseeing that we are going to be increasing, and that's why we're doing new. I'm increasing the facilities at both places. At Las Brisas, we're doing about 18 additional African beds, the long ones, the big ones, and I hope you can eventually make it, because it's looking really nice to be able to even to spend time there at the facility, stay over at the farm. I have a little house there that I am repairing, so that when you come back here, you can stay there and actually
At the
live
farm.
at the farm and spend the time in processing. Mhm.
We want to make also like picnic places, maybe just of cement, and like also to make a fire, bonfires.
Right.
So because it just looks great, he cleared a lot of land and put the African beds,
Okay.
and you can see even for a picture just the pines, the trees. It's a beautiful postal picture.
Mhm.
It's
And
San Antonio or Las Brisas?
Las Brisas.
In Las Brisas, yeah.
Cool.
We have more space there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope we can eventually, if anyone's watching the video later, we'd like to do origin trips and take you to the farm so you can understand. But I want to draw a picture, and it's so difficult. But your raised beds, I was really amazed that you had QR codes on the bed so you can scan the beds. And we've seen, in the past papers that fly off and you forget what coffees are on the tables at other farms. But for you, that's not happening. You have the QR codes, you always have everything, your pie graphs, and you're so technical and aware of everything. And I wish people could fully understand, and that's difficult. But I just want to ask you technical questions, but I'll keep it simple. When we were there, you always stressed the importance of pepeto trees. And I was hoping you could just mention why you think pepeto trees are important, and that might be nice for people to understand.
Okay. Basically, these pepeto trees are in Spanish leguminosas, which basically they have the ability to take nitrogen from the air. The air is composed of about 80% nitrogen, 19% oxygen, and 1% CO2. And these trees have the ability to take nitrogen from the air and bring it down to the soil, and then these bacteria make it available to the same tree and the trees around. So basically, you can reduce the cost of buying chemical fertilizers by a lot. Now, all of these things, I guess, nobody tells them, or they just don't study them at the universities as they should, because I guess that goes against big corporations selling herbicides and NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, so in chemical form. So I guess it's not a standard practice, but it's just magical to see how you can basically produce good, in this case, coffee, reducing the use of herbicides and NPK by 70, 80%, and getting the same and even better results. So I think it's kind of magical to see this, and when next time you come, you will see how it's even looking much better than when the last time you were here, which is only 8, 9 months ago. So I'm really excited about this, and I think this is something that should be, or needs to be spread, so that people get into this kind of practices. And then, of course, the mycorrhizal that goes with it, which is basically the result of having healthy soils, whereby you continue to promote the the mycorrhizals, which have basically disappeared because of the use of herbicides and NPK, and the excess use of NPK.
So when you're, I know a couple years ago you said you wanted to plant a bunch more Papeto trees. Is there a Papeto nursery so we can plant some more trees when we're there, other than coffee shops?
Oh yes, of course, of course. Mm.
Good.
I will always have a Pepeto nursery. Even if I don't use them, I can give them away.
Right. I think you can see everyone, Bianca and Albert, they said they're so ready to visit. Patty, I know you've talked to Bianca more than Carlos has, but Carlos, that's my sister and my brother-in-law and the future generation.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Because our house is loud, so that's why we're muted.
I know with 4 kids, but it's great to see that you're doing super fine.
Thank you.
Hi.
This one.
Oh, he's not the last one.
Let's see. So what's for my main questions is what your goals are for next year. If we have to stay the same, or if we can start to visit and move around, but other than selling all the new production, what are there any other specific goals for next year for 2021?
Any specific?
Well, of course, to have more clients, and that's to answer Kenneth's question, is that it's a good time, like in November, to start planning what you want for next year, what kind of processes you want, because we have like an early picking on November, and then it keeps until like January, but then on December, it's like, we have to know if people want it natural, double washed, or the different kind of processes, or a special experiment, like some people ask. Well, that's a blessing. They're asking like special lots to compete. After we have won twice with our Pacamara, with Dan Fellows in England, and so. But besides all that, we do have plans, like Carlos said at Brisas, for coffee tours. You were always interested, Nicole and Kevin, and we have been here. I like to do CrossFit, so we do it on Sundays at the park, Bicentenario. I don't know if you've been there. It's a big park, and we can keep like the distance, but a lot of people go there, and we have seen there like several ideas that we want to copy them, to do them at the farm, so people can make a picnic there, or stay at the house to sleep. So we are planning to invest a little more in that area. So the coffee tours, eventually, there has to be a vaccine or something has to happen in this world to make it normal again, right? So we are still really open, and we're starting to work for the coffee tours.
So the idea is that people can come here and stay for a week and work and have a good time and have the experience of being at the farm for 1 week, 2 weeks, what have you. You know, people that are somehow related to the coffee community, baristas, roasters. I think that they would spend a great time. And going back to the processing, it's this kind of meetings is very important because, for instance, you tell me that Parainema Natural is doing great. So there is basically, well, we did have 2 very small batches of honeys in Parainema, but the natural is doing so well that, I mean, the idea is again to continue doing that Parainema as a natural because of the good results that we're getting. And then, because once you do a process, there is no going back. See what I'm trying to say? If I start doing Parainema honey, and you ask me, oh, we're natural, oh, we're done doing, there's no more Parainema. So planning at these times, it's very important.
Just put the cherries back on. It's okay.
That's why you have to order early, Kenneth.
All right, November.
Okay, we'll put them all back on the cupping table and decide what processes we want.
That's great.
Because we didn't need more privilege. Gosh, we're spoiled.
We're totally
I
spoiled.
know, but you deserve to be spoiled.
The last thing I want to say is it's really nice to hear that you see value in people visiting, because I'm a hands-on learner, and me going to El Salvador a few years ago, the first time, it had an amazing effect. I had been a barista for 7 or 8 years at that time, and to finally meet farmers and see what's happening was very important for me. And then I encouraged Nicole to come down with me, and you know the rest. But it's nice to hear that you see value in people visiting, because I really do. I think that more people that get to see the whole process will appreciate the coffee more, and it will help the entire community. So I'm excited for the future.
Yes, because all of this finally not only helps us, but it helps Juayúa, the people from Juayúa. We can give another blessing. We can still keep giving more jobs to people Juayuenses. In these coffee tours, well, they help increase our economy. Juayúa, you know that it's a small town in well, there.
No, there's a lot of restaurants and the coffee shops that they had to close because
Yes.
there's nobody because of the pandemic. So that is really very sad.
We don't have tourists.
Yeah, exactly.
To go to a coffee shops, the one around the corner, remember, Nicole?
Yeah.
That one closed.
Oh.
And that was super sad. And so, and like that many other people. So that would make like an injection. If we brought tourists and people at least went to buy pupusas, drink coffee around the corner. Another guy, they're starting to make pizzas. Pollo, Oscar.
Yeah.
But from scratch, Oscar is doing pizzas and serving cocktails. So even though everything is more about the coffee, at the end it helps everyone in Juayúa.
That's our hope. All right.
Yeah.
Wrap up because we have a limited time on Zoom, and I don't want it to cut off and everyone to wonder where we went. But any last words? Anyone else who's in the call? Kenneth? Albert? Anybody?
I just say thank you, and it's so good to see you and meet you visually down there in England. So yes, thank you, and we look forward to coming back and doing great things. And the coffee is delicious this year.
Yes, we all just hope that traveling starts working again, and that we can travel to see you. We wanted to go to Colorado. We have been canceling all the plans, but I'm positive that this will. It has to come to an end. It has to come to an end.
But I think it's worth mentioning that the coffee production, not only is it delicious and the processing was very good, that continues, and you guys are able to expand both the cultivation and the processing and selling it even in very challenging times. So yeah, it will end, and there will be travel and. In the meantime, we have the coffee community, and you're able to distribute and get get the coffee out all over the world. I think it's commendable and very successful.
Mhm. Thank you for your time, guys.
Yes,
It's
thank
nice to see you.
Great to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you all.
Patty, I will call you separately.
No,
Wrap up, wrap up. Wrap up.
yes, yes. No, that I would really saying that you know, we thank you very much because it's also you know we're all part of this community, and of course, being able to have people like you in our organization is really it's really what it's all about, and you know, that's what makes us all gives us all a living from people harvesting, working at the farm all the way to the coffee shops and the baristas and everybody, and we all have to put
To help each other.
we all help each other, and I think we're all part of a big community, and we thank you all very much for being such excellent clients and friends and partners. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
For taking
Yes.
strangers that knocked on your door at night.
What?
The first time we met Carlos, Mo was like, no, like it's fine. Let's just go knock on the door. We were like, Mo, are you sure? Like, we had his coffee in England. It was really good. He's like, no, we're friends. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay.
I just remember you over over a party, pre-party before one of the expeditions, and we just started chatting and well, I love to talk, as you can tell. So we just make click.
Exactly. All right. Well, I will
Thank you,
depart.
guys.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
You
Bye,
too.
Blanca. Bye,
Good to see you,
Kenneth.
Kenneth.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
bye, Ron Bravely.
Bye.
Yes. Hasta
Okay.
luego.
Adios.